flips me a bag baggy. So, it's another one, yeah. It's a full scrun, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to iBoxingHub. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and like and share. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring your Truly Tre. What's good?
What's good to you, cuz? And big up to the people. Thank you all for just tuning in to this midweek special. We've obviously titled the show El Monstro returns for Benavidez versus Morrell. We're going to do the preview for that fight, but we're going to just discuss everything throughout the week. So people, thank you so much for tuning in. But before we get started to our show, big up to our sponsors, D-Rock. So
That's right.
I don't know. Yes, people. Apologies for the miscommunication there, of course, but big up to D-Rock, working in association with them. So, guys, make sure you utilize the discount code, which is iBoxingHub24, and you get 40% off everything. So, what I'm wearing, what my cousin was wearing during the shadow boxing as well. So, big up to you, cuz, man, just for putting in a shift there. And also, people, I just got to remind everyone, of course, the Sports Podcast Awards, we've been shortlisted. We're going to know the results this week. So if you came 5th, 4th, 3rd, 10th, whatever, we appreciate just the support. So whoever voted, we appreciate you. And we love everyone that supports what we do, because these shows that we do, the content, the access is for you guys. It's not even for us. So we love boxing. The boxing world is growing, and we just appreciate you. So big up to you. But cuz, let's get down to business, man. We've got a few events happening, so I'm going to throw it over to you, man. What are you saying?
All right. Just before we talk about these tremendous events that's taking place this weekend, just wanted to touch upon a potential fight in the, I believe, super middleweight division. But is it Biyenge?
You're talking about Eda Biyenge? Biyenge? Okay, yeah. What are you saying about Biyenge?
And what's his name? What's his name?
Hamza Shiraz. Yes, yeah. You're talking about the tweet that went out there, isn't it? Yeah, go for it.
Yes. This looks like a good fight. It can go either way. That will be Shiraz's biggest. Well, I don't know. Would it be his biggest test? I don't know, because obviously he's fighting for a world title. So that fight, wow. Well, I mean, Biyenge's at 168, right? It comes down to 160.
160. No. So that means he's going up to 168. Should he wins that fight, man, because it's either he would move up to 168 or they might want to fight each other at catch weight, man, just to kind of even it out. So he's not defending his potential title. Biyenge's not. Yeah.
Is he struggling at once? Is he struggling to make 160?
I could look. We're not in the camp. We don't know, but I could only talk for maybe Eubank for example. I'm sure, making 160 is not always the easiest, but these guys are professionals, and I think once the paycheck's really good, you would make the weight. And I think the jump from 160 to 168, it kind of works in the 160 pounders' favor, man, because if you're putting on that extra few pounds, we know Hamza Shiraz, throws a big punch, and he's a big puncher, so it could work in his favor having that extra weight. So is that a bad thing that he's it's not overlooking his opponent, but yeah,
it's mad because I was listening to, I think, TalkSport, and they was just talking about Conor Benn and Eubank in terms of like the rehydration clause. My understanding is that on the weigh-in, right? He has to be at 160, but then he can then after that, blow up. But some people are saying that could be a disadvantage to Eubank and an advantage to Ben, because Ben, bear in mind, he hasn't fought at 147 for like over 2 years. So it's just like this fight, it could really go either way. As much as a lot of people are overlooking Ben, but it could work in Ben's favor. And that's why I'm just saying about Berlanga and Shiraz. It's just like, it's a good fight, but it really depends on what weight. It'll be better if Shiraz comes at 168, because I know he's got power. He might perform better at 168, but it's just like 168 is a serious division, it ain't no joke. It's no joke.
El Presidente, he's been holding up the division. Our boy, our brother, Sugar Ray, doesn't like the fact that, Canelo's holding the belts and holding up the division. I don't think he is. Look, just find someone that can beat him, of course, man. But that's a whole discussion for another day. But things good.
You said find someone that can beat him. There's somebody there who wants to fight him. He doesn't want to fight that person, so the person left and moved up. So that could have been a potential someone that could beat him. Just saying.
No, I like how you threw a little bit of a spice on that, man. We're gonna obviously talk about El Monstro as the main event, of course, and I just wanted this opportunity for us to because it's the midweek roundup. We're gonna round up what's gonna be happening throughout the week. Look, we know that Adam Azim has this big fight against Lipinets. Tough opponent. He's only been beaten a few times by the likes of Boots, so he's gonna be ready for this fight. So Kaz, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Adam Azim. Was you impressed by his last performance, and does that warrant him to be the favorite for this fight that's obviously coming up?
I mean, look, obviously his last performance, he fought I've forgotten his name.
Ahara Davis, yeah.
Azim was expected to win. Do you know what I mean? He was. Ahara Davis, prior to that, his last performance wasn't really great. Do you know what I mean? He got knocked out, was it first round? So, I mean, what this is for the IBO. I mean, would you class this as a legitimate title?
100%. You know what, cuz I know a lot of people are going to say whatever about IBO, but remember when Eubank and Ben were fighting back in the days for the WBO, people had that stigma about that title as well because it was kind of newish as well. So for me, it's a registered title. Until we get the monopoly where we have one champion, we have to accept that there are different organizations. And look, if it says World Championship, it is a World Championship fight, man. So we have to kind of treat it with that kind of respect, even though I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's just the IBO or whatever, man. But look, it's a registered world title, and this is one of the reasons why boxing is kind of good, because you've got opportunities to fight for other belts, and there's different ones, there's different routes. You can go through the IBO route, the next after IBO you can go into the WBO, WBC, IBF, WBA. So it kind of makes it interesting, but I do understand from a casual perspective, it's too hard to keep up with with all these titles.
So out of Dalton Smith and Azim, who would you say is the A side?
Ooh, Kaz is actually throwing it out there. Who's in the A side? Yeah, we would have to say Dalton Smith, man, naturally. But I think regardless for England, that's a big fight. That's a big British showdown, and I would love to see it. Especially if Adam Azim, if he wins this fight, gets the IBO strap. Dalton Smith has got some titles on his end as well. Just put them all on the line, so it just looks pretty for the winner. The winner can pick up all these straps, and that can be the next point for World Championship. But from my understanding, I believe from both camps, they're gonna wait for one of them to kind of pick up a title, then make the fight, man, just for business sense, building up the storyline. Yeah,
because some say that it's too early. Not to say that Azim doesn't want to fight him, but it's just financially it doesn't make sense now. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like, for example, going off the subject just a little bit. But do you remember when Chamberlain fought Coley?
Yes.
I think that's a bit too early.
Yeah.
A bit too early, you know? It's just like, okay, the loser loses, but it's just like the loser lost everything. It took him years to rebuild, you know? So I think with them, maybe 12 to 18 months.
Well, you reckon 12 to 18 months from now?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. Because look, Adam Azim, they're still trying to build him. They don't want to rush him. Do you know what I mean? You know, he could potentially be the next big thing in boxer.
Yeah, definitely. Ben Shalom, we was obviously having a discussion in our iBoxingHub family group, and I think Ben Shalom's got a good, you know, stable fighters, man, that he's promoting. You know, he's got Adam Azim, he's got Caroline Dubois, you know, he's got Chris Eubank Jr. You know, he's got fighters underneath his rank that, you know, in the future could be carrying the sport. So look, it's interesting right now, and look, I just wish Adam Azim the best. I was impressed by his performance against O'Hara Davis. I didn't think it was going to be that conclusive, but it was really impressive. And I think that Lipinets, he can, you know, Randy Orton. Remember Randy Orton from WWE, where he used to be called the Legend Killer?
Yeah.
Adam Azim can do his own little thing here, man. You know, he retired, you know, O'Hara Davis. I know that was his brother, but he essentially retired him.
Is he retired?
Yeah, O'Hara Davis has done it. From my understanding, if anyone in the chat,
I thought
you know,
it's just
some information, just get involved. No,
Okay.
he's out the sport, man. He's out the sport because he just kind of felt that was, you know, that was the moment, man. You know, he had nothing left to give to the sport. He feels like he's done, you know, enough, and I'm sure he's made a lot of money. He did obviously talk about, you know, being involved in several real estate investments. So look, I reckon he's good, man. So big up to O'Hara Davis as well. Big up to O'Hara Davis. Yep, look, Lucy's facts comes through the facts. So yeah, big up to Lucy all the way from the States. Retired, she's saying, man. So yeah, O'Hara's done now. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But it's not crazy at the same time. I understand. I genuinely understand. There's nothing really else he needs to prove in the sport, really. So
sometimes with athletes, you know, they fall out of the love. You know, they no longer have the love for the sport no more because there's too much. You know, it's the business side that puts them off. Not so much though, because they enjoy the, you know, the fights. But then some say, look, the training camp it's just too much now, man. Just like your body's just tired, you know, just tired.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, listen to your body, innit? You know what I mean? Like, look, you got Del Boy fighting next weekend, and it's just like, should he win? Like, should he, you know, knock out my man within 3 rounds? I guarantee you he'll fancy another fight. It won't be the last dance. Should he lose, would he still have that 50th fight in Africa?
Yeah, I think it still happens, man. I think he kind of made a contract to himself, and he just said, look, I got to have 50 fights in the sport, man, or whatever, man. So credit to him. He's brought excitement, and I just hope that, you know, this fight doesn't damage him too much, so that he's able to have that last fight. If it's in Africa, Zimbabwe, where he's from, look, I would welcome it. And yeah, I just love his theme tune when it comes to the ring. You know, wrestlers have their signature tunes. Boxers have their signature tunes as well. Like Kell Brook had, you know, All of the Lights. You know, yeah, Del Boy, he obviously has that hotel. I think Hotel in California, innit, or something like that, man. I like the theme, man. I'm not gonna lie. So big up to Derek Chisora, man.
So, Mr. Bakoli, he's on smoke. So here's the thing. So right. So we all know that Parker is fighting Triple D. Now, what they're saying is, should Bakoli win, he's next in line for the IBF. So does that mean? So let's just say Triple D, you know, gets rid of Parker. Does that mean Daniel Dubois has no choice but to fight Bakoli? If not, then they're gonna have to vacate the belt. So that means he won't be fighting Usyk next.
Yeah, because that makes sense, man. I think that's a fight that we need to see. You know, I think Bakoli deserves it. You know, he's been waiting in line for a long time. He obviously saw the news from Sky. They obviously confirmed that he's going to be ahead of AJ in that IBF pursuit, which makes sense. It makes sense, especially if he beats a Jugba in his next fight. You got to put him next. So let him fight the winner of Dubois and Parker, because we can't rule out Parker. We can't rule him out, man. We can't just kind of forget about him
Yeah, of
because
course, of course.
anything can happen. I ruled out Parker against Wilder, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought Wilder was gonna, you know, do the job, but
But with this fight, am I right in saying Dubois being the champion, there's probably a rematch clause then? So that actually means lose to Parker, he would have to fight Parker again. So that means we could then potentially get to see Bakoli and AJ fight for that position. Because when you think,
all right, what are you saying? If you're, because I think I've asked you a few times during the show, actually.
it's a okay. I'll break it down to you.
You doing it?
He will fight, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he will fight anyone. But it's his team. They have to be strategic and smart, because you can fight anyone and you can lose badly to anyone. So the biggest fight for him at the moment is actually Tyson Fury. That's the biggest fight in terms of, you know, financial gains, etc.
Yeah.
Now, rematch with Dubois, it could be a risk, because it's just like, okay, he's beaten you once, he can potentially beat you the second time, and even worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, if Parker wins, he can fight Parker, but then Parker could be like, wait, hold on, I'm the champ, I might as well just challenge, you know, for undisputed, if that was the option. Do you know what I mean? But then again, Parker, if he wins, most likely a rematch, or he'll be fighting Bakoli. So then you've got the likes of Dylan White, he's there, and then you've got the likes of Wilder, he's there. Do you know what I mean? So it's a sticky one, but he has to be smart on you know, who to choose, because again, as fans, we don't want him to fight anybody. It'll be, do you know what I mean? It has to be an exciting opponent. But all I know is Bakoli, you know, should he win, then, you know, he's there.
Yeah. Give him the shot. Yeah, exactly. Because
should Bakoli beat his opponent and then become IBF champion and then fight Usyk, just imagine if Bakoli, the guy to beat Usyk, that's just tremendous. What a way he can retire. What a way. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was just my
no, cuz no, preach, cuz, man, because obviously at the end of the day, you're a fan of Joshua, so I want the people to kind of know from your perspective as a fan, and I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. If I was gonna pick a fight for him from a business perspective and also from a fighting perspective as well, just based on, you know, where both fighters have come from, I wouldn't mind to see Wilder. If we're not going to see Fury, let's have AJ versus Wilder, and look, we know someone's going to get knocked out in that fight, and that can be the last call for both of them, man. I hate kind of just doing that for fighters, saying, "Oh, this is," but like that would be the fairy tale ending, man, because you know, that fight, I'm sure, you know, it would still do numbers. You could do Riyadh season for that. You could do you can do it in the States. I would love, you know, for AJ just to get the opportunity to fight in the States, so he can get that get back. Because I still think that the American public, they do love him commercially, but the ones that have gone to see him live, they're always gonna, you know, bring up the Andy Ruiz fight that they saw. So it'll be good for Joshua to kind of close that chapter. You know, if you can get a win over a Wilder, which is not going to be easy, despite, you know, the losses that he's had, it would be a good statement. And maybe from a fight like that, it could lead up to another big fight, man. So who knows, man? And give him confidence, because I could just imagine at the moment, yes, he's a warrior, he's a fighter, but he's also a human being, you know. So he needs, you know, that confidence, that time into bounce back, especially for Manel. Yeah.
Well, main event,
Ooh,
PBC.
before the main event, because we can't disrespect the GOAT, man. We can't disrespect the GOAT, man. So we got to remind people as well. Shields versus Perkins, man. It's also happening. This is a homecoming for Closure Shields. Because don't worry, we're not going to take long at all. But I just want you to give me a little breakdown, man. Give me the sports.
Do you know what? I don't know much about Perkins. If I'm honest with you, I don't know much about her at all. Well, I know she's just a heavyweight, but it's just weird because sometimes with the women's division, yeah, it's really hard to gauge into say like, you know, who's top, who's best. Because obviously, don't get me wrong, Shields, she's the GOAT, but these opponents she fights, yeah, their resume looks, I don't want to say weak here, but it's like, who have they fought? Do you know what I mean? You know, it's just it's weird. Like with I mean, female boxing, it's doing amazing, it's tremendous. But when I look at their resume, sometimes I'm like, okay, who's that? I've never heard of that person. You know, who is that? But again, you know, I believe Shields will win. Yeah, I believe she'll win, but it might be a tough one.
Yeah,
it might be. A tough,
it will be.
You know, because this opponent looks tough.
Yeah, look at her. She's clearly bigger than her. So there's not a lot of competition at those higher weight classes as well. Big up to Lucy, you know, educating the community on this as well. Look, there's not much competition, but that's not the fault of Closure Shields, man. She still has a job to do. This is a homecoming. I'm sure, you know, Salita Promotions, big up to Dimitri Salita on that as well. I'm sure he wants to put on a show, sell tickets, and hopefully they could persuade Savannah Marshall to come up to heavyweight and, you know, have that fight. They could do a double header if they want. They could do a boxing fight, heavyweight, and then do the MMA.
I'm not really, if I'm honest with you, I'm not really. I watch MMA if there's a big fight, but I'm not a hardcore fan. But they should just stick to boxing, man. We saw the last fight. The last fight was actually good. And if they're gonna fight heavyweight, let it be heavyweight. Let it be in America, because it's only fair, because Shields came down here to Marshall's backyard. Now it's time for her to go to close to Shields' backyard. They should just fight in heavyweight. Keep it simple, heavyweight. And then if Savannah Marshall was to beat Close to Shields, then it's 1-1. You know, then you never know. You know,
it'll be 2-1.
Okay, yeah. I never include the
amateurs. Yeah, I know.
I have to look at the
pros.
Yeah, professionals. You know, so yeah, it'll be 1-1, so they can run it back. A trilogy, you never know. It could be a Riyadh season. You never know. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Again, so I'm hearing Perkins is like 42, 43. Again.
No, big up to Lucy, bro. Big up to Lucy, man. You know,
it's shocking. It's just like when we heard, well, I don't know how true it is, but they're saying Lawrence Okoli might be fighting Luis Ortiz. Like, come on, dude. Like, come on. Give the guy a break.
Yeah, give him. No, but also he needs his money as well, man. Luis Ortiz, no?
I understand that. Yeah,
no, bless him. Bless him with a big payday. He deserves it, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, his biggest payday was when he fought Wilder.
Maybe we'll get more from this one.
Nah.
Maybe they got to chuck in a little bit more money just so they could agree on a fight like this, man, because I know they're kind of using him as a gatekeeper in this situation. And look, it is part of the sport and what it is, but it is what it is, man. Shields will win every second of every round. Fights like an hour away from me. If the undercard wasn't so bad, I would go. You should go. Look, Lucy, just go, man.
Yeah, and that's another thing as well. I don't know who you know. Are there any credible opponents fighting on the undercard? I don't know. But however, one good thing is that the fight, I believe, is on DAZN.
Yes, the DAZN people. So look, if you've got a subscription, just take advantage, man. This is what DAZN are doing for the boxing community. They're putting all these events all into one platform, so it's easier for, you know, fans like us to tune in, man. But yes, cuz, let's do this, man. You know, this is the big main event. You know, there's a big card for this as well, cuz. Benavidez versus Morrell, both Davids as well. You've got Figueroa versus Fulton 2 as well. You've got Pitbull and Ferrero. You've got Ramos Jr., Rosario. Guys, you've got a full card here, man. But we're obviously looking forward to the main event. We've got El Monstro. He's back. I'm excited about him, cuz, man. And I think this is a great fight for him to have because Morrell isn't a pushover. He's going to come to fight. You know, if you hear stories with sparring partners of Morrell, they say he's a very skilled fighter. He's got power. So this isn't going to be an easy fight. And cuz this fight is going to be personal between both fighters, man. There's a little bit of an edge on this, man. So that's why I'm going to throw it over to you. What are you saying, cuz, man? El Monstro returns. What's he going to do on his return? Is he going to win in emphatic fashion, or is it going to be a tough ruling 12-rounder?
Knockout. Yeah, because if he, you got to think, right? If he's saying that he wants to fight the winner of Benavidez and Bivol, he has to make this fight look easy. He has to.
Yeah.
He has to make, he has to say like, yo, I'm gonna be next in line. Like I'm gonna rule the 175 division. So he's gonna have to. I mean, look, it may be a tough fight in the beginning, but mid to end, well, one of them has to close it. One of them has to close. That's reality. Do you know what I mean? And it's a big fight. It's a massive fight because just imagine. Okay, let's just say Benavidez wins and he fights. Let's just say Benavidez and he beats Benavidez. What a statement! What a statement! Do you know what I mean?
All of those belts as well, man. Can you imagine El Monstro? Yeah.
But this is where I get a bit confused now. It's just like, in reality, on paper, right, it looks better. Let's just say Benavidez fighting Benavidez than Benavidez fighting Boatsi or Callum Smith. No disrespect to them, but I'm just saying, like, commercial wise, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know how massive that would be? That'd be huge. That'd be huge. But then at the same time, it's just like it's a bit unfair for Callum Smith and Boatsi because it's like, well, hold on, the winner of that, don't they? They're supposed to be challenging for.
You know why this is such a great topic, and I'm glad you brought this up, man, because both these fighters as well. So I'm talking about Morrell and Benavidez. They're both interim champions for the division as well. So they're also in line for those belts that Beterbiev has as well. So that is the problem. When you're undisputed, you're carrying different belts from different organizations. So this organization's probably in line for a title shot. So the champion can kind of just weigh up his options and choose. Okay, I might just pick that one because it's more money, more of an attraction. So I do agree. I think money-wise, if he's gonna pick, if we're saying Beterbiev wins, of course, I would say, look, Benavidez, should he win, I would love to see that fight. Can't lie.
And the thing is, both of them, Benavidez and Beterbiev, in the middle, they'll be trading. No one will be ducking. They'll be trading.
Yeah.
If anything, I think Benavidez may just fight on the back foot in the first few rounds just to get a feel of his opponent, because you got to think you're fighting a champion.
Beterbiev, like he's not even a joke. Undisputed, so yeah, not even a joke. I agree with you, cuz I think that is a tough fight. That is a tough fight. Should that happen, of course, man. Both guys, they've got difficult tasks in their hand as well. Benavidez, he has, sparred Bivol in the past as well, so he would also welcome a fight against Bivol if Bivol wins that fight as well. So it's more or less what's going to happen next as well. So look, Lucy's saying that Beterbiev also just turned 40 last week as well, man. So age, that time just coming through. It could be the right time. It could be the right time to fight him. Should Benavidez win, man? But are we just writing off?
No, not at all. Not because, like, look, this is weird, yeah. So Beterbiev had a knee injury or elbow injury? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So when he came back to that fight, obviously he was 100%.
Yep.
And he fought Bivol, and he beat Bivol coming from an injury. Now, going to this second fight, his mindset must be completely different because after his last fight, he wasn't happy with his performance. If everybody, I know as much as people say he won. I personally think he didn't, because you can tell by the body language when somebody knows that I didn't do too well at all. Do you know what I'm saying? And your corner's telling you do this, and and it's not happening. But now I feel that the confidence is. Whew. Now I don't know what. Obviously, Bivol has to do something special to win this fight, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a tough fight for Bivol. Not so much Benavidez. I know it sounds silly, but I don't think, because like I said to you, the first fight is coming from an injury, whereas Bivol had fought a few months before that. Do you know what I mean? A warm up. Whereas Benavidez, there was no warm up. You went straight into it. So yeah.
No, I agree with you definitely, because I think that Benavidez, he's done his part. I think I slightly disagree in the sense that he was 100%. I don't think he actually came back, fully 100%, because he had that injury. So I think possibly going into that fight, it was about 85, 90%, not fully, but I'm sure every fighter can tell you they're not always 100% going into fights, man, because the camps are very difficult. This is why training in boxing is kind of different to other sports, because sparring, you're getting hit, you're getting punched, man, you're getting cut, you're getting bruised, you're getting hurt. So your body's getting beat up. So I could understand why a fighter like a Hara Davis that we was talking about before can just say, look, man, I've had enough, man. So, look, I think it's a good route. And I'm hoping Benavidez, El Monstro puts on a statement against Morrell. I think it's going to be a fun fight for fans. There's going to be plenty of bombs being thrown, punches-wise. And we're going to see a stoppage, I reckon, man. We're going to see a couple of knockdowns. We're going to see a stoppage. We could see Benavidez on the deck. We could see Morrell go down a few times. It could be one of those wars, man. But I definitely think that we can't overlook Morrell, man, because he's going to, come to fight. And this is a chance as well. So whoever wins this, you're obviously going to be carrying 2 interim belts, which is the WBC and the WBA. But that gives you the right and the ticket to fight whoever wins between Benavidez, Beterbiev and Bivol. So, look, may the best man win. I'm just excited, cuz, man. Big weekend. Big weekend. What you gonna eat for that weekend, cuz? I just got to ask you, because when you have weekends where you got so many different boxing events happening back to back, I'm sure you got something special prepared, man.
I'm gonna have to just see go with the flow, because on that weekend, I'm an early bird, innit? So I'm going for that 5K run.
Yeah. And
then I come back. Do I need to do later on in that evening? I don't know, because I'm. It's weird because you've got 3 boxing events.
Yep.
Here in the UK, at the Mazim. Then you got Closer Shields, and you got Benavidez. But Closer Shields and Benavidez, what time? Because they might be clashing. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's where it just, you're going to have a few screens up.
You might get PBC pay-per-view views just go, do you know what I mean? But then again, all due respect, right? Nothing against Benavidez and his opponent, but why is it pay-per-view?
Oh, I think this is big enough for pay-per-view, cuz, man. Yeah. I think, this is big. This is T-Mobile Arena. The way I would build this up, like if I'm thinking as a PBC, promoter, I'll build this up as they both waited for Canelo at 168. Canelo didn't fight none of them. They both moved up to 175. They're both carrying interim titles for the division. Whoever wins gets a ticket to fight, Bivol versus Beterbiev, man. So this fight is huge, especially for the 175 division, man. I think this can really tell a big story. Plus, it's gone a bit personal as well. You've seen them two pushing each other. He threw the belt at him, Morrell, at one of the presses around Benavidez's birthday as well, man. So, look, this is personal, cuz, man. This is what you call bad blood. This is bad blood. This is boxing's equivalent of bad blood, I would say, man. So pay-per-view is worth it.
Yeah,
that's my promotion for it, man. And plus, you've got a decent undercard, cuz you got Figueroa, Fulton 2. That's decent. The return of Pitbull, and you got Ramos Jr. versus Rosario. So look, I think it's a decent card, man. Look, there's a few former world champions on that undercard too. So look, Lucy's promoting it as well for us as well, cuz. So look, it deserves to be pay-per-view in my opinion. But guys, just let us know. Does this event deserve to be pay-per-view? Just let us know. But I'm excited for it. I can't lie. This is at the T-Mobile Arena. So yeah, tune in, people. It's going to be a special. And also just to remind people as well, another PBC pay-per-view. You got Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. So this is going to be a treat. And this is why, cuz, sorry, we've gone a little bit over time. This is why boxing is good, because there's different promoters doing different things. So maybe it's not good to monopolize the sport, man. Just let PBC have their thing. You know, everyone can just kind of do their thing, and we as fans can, you know, start rating the events.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yes, I know it's that time, cuz, man, you are absolutely shattered from a long day, man. But once again, big up to you, big up to the community. Thank you so much for your endless support. We appreciate you. Big up to the whole of the iBoxingHub family as well. You know, Trill Dollar Bill is going to be launching his album as well this week. So people, just make sure you're watching across the way, which is throughout the week. And yeah, big up to Abbas and Ray as well. They did a special on this as well. So just get your take on the Benavidez fight as well. And yeah, cuz, look, I'm just excited because we've got a proper bad blood weekend, man. So yeah, El Monstro returns. And yeah, cuz, I'm going to hand it over to yourself. But big up to you once again, man.
Big up, everyone. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Keep tuning in. Keep supporting the channel. We're growing bigger and better. We've got a few announcements coming soon. Stay tuned.
Yeah,
have a lovely, productive week and weekend. Enjoy the event, and we shall catch up on Sunday. Peace and love.
It's another band. All the Muslim calls now, whichever get up. I talk my scars with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag,